Hello, everyone. This is Stacey Cohen, licensed professional counselor and spiritual life coach from the Center for Soulful Presence. And today I have Nichelle Frye, who is amazing. And she was actually the person that has helped me to really birth this project. And what I'm going to start doing is creating a series from the Empath University that I'm creating, and I'm picking really amazing, magical, talented people who, when I have conversations with, I always feel inspired. So my hope is that you too will also feel inspired. Uh, but what's really special is that Nichelle and I have a beautiful relationship. We've known each other for years. And in actuality, we're just like off the cuff. It's always natural. There's always a flow to it. And so I thought it'd be really interesting for other people to kind of experience that. And so this series, we're really just having a conversation. And I'm going to pose a question and we'll see what happens. And the series is called What is Alive for You Right Now? And because we're in some interesting times and there's a lot of thoughts and feelings that are going around in the collective, and as empaths, we can be really catching a lot of that. And so my hope is that we can spin and weave a new conversation that supports us building our new earth, our new paradigm, and coming up with creative solutions to where we are right now. All right. So with that being said, Nichelle does some really amazing things herself. She actually, I'm going to have you share a little bit about some of the things that you do. Care to share, my friend?
Sure, I'd love to. So, really, at the basis of what I love to offer, it's about self love. And it's about seeing that not just moving through my process in self love, self discovery, if you will, and also seeing that for others. So, I love to encourage that in whatever ways that I can. And one of my favorite ways is through movement of my body, because I love to dance and I love to see when other people are moving freely. It's something that lights me up, and then it lights me up even further when other people are doing it. And so I love to connect through movement, and I love to encourage self-connection through movement. So that's one of the things that I happily offer.
Awesome.
And then one of the other things, when I am able to be in physical space, is is I love touch. I think touch is so important, and respectful, caring, nurturing touch. And so I love to not just offer hugs, but simply to just connect physically, just connect. Not just a hug, but a little this and a little this. And so that people know, just have that experience whenever needed of that kind of connection. And that's one of the ways that I love to be a safe space for others. So that's a little glimpse into what I'm offering. And so that's really
Great.
exciting.
Very cool. And so I'll have her link and information, contact information on the bottom of the video so that you can also connect with Nichelle, and you're definitely in for a treat. So,
Mhm.
so for today's video, my question is, Nichelle, what is alive for you right now?
Oh, discovering more of what I want,
Mm,
really owning more of what I want. That is more and more alive for me right now, because I have the space. I have more space because I don't have to go into an office or anything like that with everything that's going on right now. And I can get up out of bed and take my time starting the day and have space to ask myself questions about, well, what is it that I want? And actually, I think at this point, it's less about asking. It really is more about like listening and owning and speaking into what I want. And when I say speaking, it's not just verbally, it's speaking it and expressing it through how I move throughout my day, through the choices that I make throughout my day. That's expressing, learning to express what I want, and what's important to me, and expressing not just what I want, but expressing what I already am. Ah, just expressing what I already am. That's big. That's coming more and more alive for me right now. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
hmm It's it's a it's a really it's a sweet process of, and it's not always sweet. I'm gonna clarify that. It's not always, mwah, mwah, sugar dugger, but it's overall it is very, it's a loving process. What I mean by sweet, it's a nurturing process. I know that it is for my benefit. It's not meant to tear me down. So it's it's a sweet process where I'm just I'm coming to see more of what pushes my buttons and what lights me up and why certain things push my buttons. And I think before I can even get to the why certain things push my buttons, it's more just about being okay with things pushing my buttons.
Mm.
It's like, okay, I don't have to be all spiritually elevated and high vibration all the time. That it's really okay for me to be like, you know what? I don't like that. That annoys me. That's lame.
I mean, what if it is actually spiritually elevated to acknowledge one's tough and complicated and challenging, triggering feelings,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And that ties into self love. I mean, when you think about that, the idea of, if you're treating yourself like, say, if you were talking to me about something, Stacy, and it was bothering you, if I were when I'm talking to a best friend, a wonderful friend, someone that I'm close with, or even a stranger who's having an issue about something, and we sit, and I like to sit and be present and listen. I like to listen. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, cool. I'm not judging you and telling you, well, you shouldn't think that way. You shouldn't do that. So if I'm doing that, extending that to others, why not extend that to myself and be like, oh, okay, Shell, that's cool. I hear you. I hear you. So it's an opportunity to practice some of that with myself. And I have more space to do that because I have less external distraction, fewer external distractions to pull me from doing that. So,
Yeah, I can totally relate. I've been feeling a lot, just enjoying not having as many distractions, although the technology can be if I pick it up,
mm-hmm.
But again, it's a choice. It's like, does this feel good for me? Is this what I need right now? Are there some other priorities I need to take care of? Is this going to uh, support my intention for the day?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That word priorities, um, that's big. When I think about, you say priorities, and I feel the word boundaries coming up too,
Mm.
where and boundaries meaning, like, coming back to choice. It's about you deciding, just as you're deciding what your priorities are, not what you think your priorities should be, but what your priorities are,
Right.
and setting boundaries from that place.
Yeah.
Not because, like, not based on or less based on what other people, what you think they should be, but what they actually are for you. And then just knowing
Yeah.
that that's going to morph. Certain things will be priority for a while, certain things will be boundaries for a while, and then those will shift. But it's going along with that and honoring that as you go. That's a part of that self-love.
That is self-love, self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, sometimes people talk about self-care and it's like, oh, I got a mani-pedi, and which is fine. And yet that's not always what's needed,
Yeah.
you
Like,
know?
when you're getting that mani-pedi, how can you enhance that, since you have to sit there in this chair and there's someone offering a service to you and you're receiving that? Can you make it that? Is there something else that you can do that you can really enhance that? Like, say, for instance, instead of scrolling on Facebook while you're sitting there in the chair, is there an uplifting video that you could listen to? Is there some positive content that you can put in your ears instead of listening to the music that's playing in the background in the lawn? Um, is there something that you can put, is there more content that you can receive during that time, because you can't go anywhere else, because you're having this opportunity to sit and relax? How can you make it that much more relaxing for you? So how can you up level
Well, well,
up level your self-care?
sometimes I mean, in the beginning, I usually like to acknowledge the person that's working on my feet
Mm,
and say hello, greet them, look them in the eyes, and then sometimes I'll just sit and bless them,
mm,
like in my heart.
mm,
And I feel like they'll feel that as they're working on me,
yeah.
you know. And that's something that I want to practice more of. I love the idea of sacred reciprocity. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that before.
Absolutely.
It's a value that's really important to me. And
Mhm.
so it's like I'm in a state of receiving. I'm also like inevitably, it's a gift, to have someone give service, and it's a gift to be of service, and
Yes.
it's both,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. And then sometimes I'll just sit and listen to good music,
Mhm.
and then sometimes I'll sit and bless them up. It makes
Yeah.
me good because I know that if I have the capacity to give that, that's the compassion that I've given myself, and it's a good check-in.
Mm. Wow. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're
And I
literally
love it. I've never thought of, you know, how can I enhance this money pay? How can I really extract the juices from this? So that's great. What a great idea. See, this is why I'm so inspired by you. Oh,
Oh, I mean, even those little things, like I appreciate your offering about being able to just, just acknowledge the person that's offering you a service. Um, I mean, really taking into account they're doing something for you that is saving you time and saving you a little bit of physical energy. um, that's it's worth the exchange. It's not worth just the monetary exchange, energy exchange in that form, but it's worth that energy exchange of acknowledgement here and here.
mhm.
And if anything, I'm a believer that when we offer that from in here, or even just with, or in here, that the outcome is likely to be better. Like, it's not going to be your average mani petty, that there's something that will be a little
Yeah,
different. Something will be slightly different. I mean, you know, who knows? You could glance over, there are two different people getting two different mani pedis, and something about yours just turns out a little differently. Not trying to make a comparison, but just an observation. Just like, that just, she put that coat on there real nice. Or it's just little things that you could notice, who
yeah.
knows?
I mean, I know that as someone I'm in the service industry, or the helping profession, and it's like, um, I feel like people get more value definitely when I'm in a state of gratitude, um, and excitement about serving.
Yeah.
Like I can tell, if there's a day of an off day or something, I'm like, sometimes I might bump into more challenges, and so I know also when people are receiving from me, I'm also like, and there's just that genuine gratitude. It's like, wow, it encourages me, keeps
Yes.
me going, and
Yeah.
there really is an exchange, and that's something that I hope for the new world. That it's like, now, all of a sudden now people are like, thank you, to the grocery people.
Yes.
Like, let's keep it going. Let's acknowledge the efforts, you know,
Yes. Yep.
and then it really does become a wonderful experience
Mhm.
for
Yes.
everybody.
Uh-huh. Like it's not one-sided. It never is one-sided. It's a
Mm-mm,
constant exchange, constant. And
mm-hmm,
to be able to acknowledge that as often as we can, more and more, I
mm-hmm,
think it really does enhance just the overall quality, not just of the exchange itself, but coming back to ourselves. It enhances us a little bit more. Um,
and I really get that from you. That's one of the things that I get from you is just your, when you give from a state of joy.
mhm.
That I see when you're giving. It's like that there's pleasure there,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and I've also witnessed you receiving, in different arenas that I've known you in, and it's just like there's no guilt or shame, and I feel like when those ingredients are there, uh, right? Like so many people who are givers like have guilt and shame about receiving.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
And I
When-
definitely had my time with that.
oh
I
yeah, me too, for
know,
sure, for sure.
know that challenge. Absolutely.
So what was the ingredient for you that shifted it for you?
Mm. It was the really seeing the authenticity is what did it. Really, there was an opportunity, multiple opportunities, I feel, where I was starting to see that what was being offered to me was really from a space of, no, I really want to do this for you. And in seeing that reflected back to me, that's one of the things that helped me soften. Because most times it was that feeling like if someone did something for me or offered something for me to receive, I always felt like, or most times I felt like I had to give something back, or
Mm,
there was something that I had to do. Like I basically had to prove that I was worth receiving whatever this was, which
mm.
that made it hard to receive because I felt like I was unworthy of receiving what it was, and that was the block. So when I'm seeing this authentic offering of, no, here, Nichelle, I see you and I want to offer this to you. And it's like, oh, that's what I've been doing. And it's okay. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to, because it's already coming to me. If there was something to prove, then I'd still be sitting here waiting to receive the thing, but it's already coming, which means I'm already worthy. What? So, what?
Do you remember when you first started gifting yourself things and what that was like?
Ooh, I vaguely remember the time in my life.
Or do you remember some times that you have? given some things to yourself and just really just was like, wow, this is a game changer.
Mm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And it was huh, at the root of it is it really came down to giving myself an experience.
Oh,
Giving myself an experience and therefore giving myself an experience of myself where
wow. Setting the intention to give
yeah.
yourself an opportunity to experience yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes it was just like, well, I'm wanting to give this to myself, and then that wound up being the real end result was realizing that what I'm really receiving from the experience is the connection to myself and really feeling myself that much more fully. Really, just
Mm.
mm. And then it's like it had me experiences like those have me remembering that it's not about anything outside of myself that's going to make me happy. Like I'm literally doing this for myself, giving this to myself. And so whatever it is that prompted it is more, it was an avenue. And so I can appreciate that avenue to bring it back in on myself. That's fun. That's exhilarating. And then
Yeah.
extra knowing that it's coming from me. That it's yeah.
Do you think that maybe some of the guilt goes away, or at least that guilt is a sign that there may be a disconnect in one experiencing oneself fully?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when someone says, "I feel guilty," really what they're saying is, "I I have been blocking my ability to experience all of me or more of me."
Yeah. Yeah. Like literally I'm missing a part of me or I'm not seeing a part of me. It's not missing. It didn't go anywhere.
Mm-mm.
We're right here.
Yeah.
But it's just I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that part of myself.
So if we give ourselves, what you're saying is if we give ourselves more of an opportunity to experience ourselves through gifting of oneself through self-care, then we're actually going to feel less guilty when we receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I feel that.
That
Yes.
is so
I feel
I
that.
like I felt like I was like so close to like understanding that ingredient until you spoke from that standpoint about fully or more fully experiencing yourself or giving yourself permission. That really uh, helped the light bulb to go off about that, you know.
Oh, I mean, we can be our own permission slip, you know.
Uh-huh. Oh,
We
I
can
need a
be
t-shirt.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We can be our own permission slip. And at the same time, you know, since we're on this planet, thankfully, with access to so many more wonderful people, every now and again, I need a little permission slip from somebody else. But but it's very temporary. And even that, knowing when we need to reach out to others, that can be an expression of self-care and self-love,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
To remind us of who we are.
Yeah, just a little
We
reminder.
all forget.
Mhm. Yep, and we're allowed to
Yeah.
because we do, so we might as well
Yeah.
be okay with it.
One of the things I share with my empath students is that, empaths are mirrors for other empaths, and empaths are not. I mean, empaths typically don't get mirroring from people who aren't. And it's not like an elitist thing, it's just that empaths have extra mirroring neurons.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I need to find people who have that capacity, who practice self compassion, practice self love, because, I'm feeling so much from other people and things. that I can forget myself. It's easier sometimes to
Yeah.
forget. So when I'm with another fellow sensitive, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I can come back home. Again, of course, it's an inside job, and we're social creatures. We
Yeah.
need each other, and I just enjoy being around fellow people who can see me,
Yes.
well, and that I also can mirror more accurately. Uh, their brilliance. Like you're one of the shiniest people I know. Like Nichelle walks in the room and it's like she just glows. And that those are the people I want to be around. I want to hang around for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And it is a beautiful thing. Yeah, something that I'm thinking about is how it's like when we want to play, a lot of times there could be times when we need to move around. It's like, oh, things are kind of heavy right now. I need to switch it up. I need to play. Yes. But then oftentimes there's the I want to play because I want to play. And so it's like self-care doesn't have to be, well, my levels are low, so I need to get them back up. Self-care is very, very much also includes I'm in an amazing space and I want to add more to this and I want to do more with it because it just feels good. It doesn't have to come from a place of missing or lack or anything like that. When we're feeling full of ourselves in the sweetest of ways, then it's wonderful to allow ourselves to express that and get into it and play with it simply for the joy of it. So I just want to throw that in there too.
Yes. Yes. And do you remember the other day we were talking on the phone about care, that it's about
Mhm.
caring for
Yeah.
oneself?
Yes.
That really resonated with me. And I just wanted to echo that if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. It, it was a whole nother perspective on self-care as well, an additional angle. You said something to the effect of that it's real self-care is like caring for oneself.
Yeah.
I care for me.
Mhm.
What?
Mhm.
But so often when we have like wounded parts, inner child parts, it's like, but so and so didn't care for me, therefore I don't get any. And that's sometimes the message that we may be sending to ourselves. Well, my primary parent or caregiver didn't love me, or a partner didn't love me the way that I needed to be loved. Ergo, I'm not gonna love myself.
Mm.
I'm not gonna care about myself because so and so didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, really think about like how is that? It's not even logical.
Right.
And we need more care.
Yep. Yep.
If I was devoid of it up to a certain point, I'm gonna fill up this cup because
Yes.
I'm responsible for that. This is
Yes.
my cup.
Yes.
My cup. I'm grown.
Up. And this ain't no little bitty teacup either. So
Fill her up.
yes. It's my cup.
Cup. I want a shirt also that says it's my cup. Yes,
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah. No.
I
No.
think we got the beginnings of like a really cool T-shirt company. I think
Yeah, right. A few of
the
them.
shirt says, "Can you show the
Oh,
audience?"
okay.
I
Yeah.
can't. It's hard to see. What does it say?
It says be
Mm,
beautiful. So
mm-hmm.
be beautiful.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shirts. I found it in a thrift store somewhere. It's like, oh yes, that's for me. Thank you.
That's really awesome. Very fitting. And that you are, dear friend. Mm.
As are you. As are you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this beautiful conversation. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your deep care for yourself. I believe that, like, as each one of us does that work and cares for ourselves, that we literally can create a ripple effect across this
Yes.
globe.
Yes.
And I know sometimes it's hard for people to envision, well, how is one, well, because when I am feeling good or if I'm full, I'm actually going to do better in the world.
You just show up differently. You literally just show
Totally.
up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Instead of on empty,
Yes.
and I liken it to, running a car without oil or gasoline.
Sure.
I mean, or electricity, whatever kind of car you have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, without fuel,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I actually, just a quick little funny story. When I wasn't really taught how to take care of a car when I was younger. Um, and for whatever reason, and I didn't know. So my first car, I ran it until almost blew up the engine
Mm-hmm.
because I had a station wagon.
Wow. Right on. Right on.
Because yeah, I just didn't know, and I always think about that, and it's like I just thought that they just kept on running, and it was kind of like a metaphor
Yeah.
for, wow, I really need to do maintenance
Yes.
and care for this car and check all the things and find out what I need for it
Yeah.
if I don't know. So there's no excuse. Well, they didn't tell me. I'm responsible for this. I mean, this was when I was young, but it helps.
Yes.
And I want to sustain. I want to thrive in this new world.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Surviving is just not.
It,
It's fine, but we're here for better than fine.
I agree.
I really, I know that. At least for me, I don't know about anybody else. But I know we have the capacity for way beyond fine.
Mm-hmm.
Have that
Yes.
hands down. So, I mean, I mean, just I know it's cliche, but the fact that we were born is a big deal.
It is.
Like, I know it happens all the time, but it's really freaking magnificent. And so if we come in with this capacity to whoa, then the rest of our lives we have that capacity in varying ways. So yes, that's what I'm saying. It's just yes.
Yes. More
Yes.
yes.
Or yes. I'll bet yes to that care, saying yes, I care about you. And doing things that say, yes, I care about you. Yes. All of that, those things that where we're able to tend to our vehicle, tend to our vehicle,
Yes.
tend to our home, all of
Mhm.
those things, they matter. And we don't have to wait for things to get broken, though things will break, things will need repair, and that's totally okay. That's part of life. Um, but it's easier. Those repairs are easier when we catch them when they're just starting to, when certain things are just starting to peel, just starting to rust a little bit. It's like, oh, hold on. let's get in there and take a look at that real quick. Versus, oh no, the whole thing's starting to crumble.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to come back from. However, we can still come back. There are no lost causes.
It's true.
We can still come back.
Second that. Oh,
Well,
Nichelle, thank you so much for this.
thank you.
I'm so grateful for you. I
I
love
appreciate
you. You're the
you.
best.
I love you. Yes.
Yeah. And just wanted to thank the audience for taking the time to sit and share in our friendship and our conversation. I'll be doing more of these, and yeah, so take good care of yourself. You're all worth it.
Yes, you
Bye.
are. Yes, you are. Do take good care of yourself wherever you can. Yes.
Okay, until next time. Bye.
Bye.